Hi everyone, and welcome to the Canadian Pageant Network. My name is Maya Santana Pilar and I am your host for today's topic. But before we talk about today's topic, I would like to greet you everyone in Canada a happy Family Day. And I hope that you enjoyed your holidays with your friends and loved ones and your family. And again, it does not take just blood related to be a family. It's the love of who you care about and who you want to spend your time with to make yourself family. So happy Family Day. And I would like to thank Kim Belen of Maestrado Fashions for providing my outfit today. So if you're interested in getting one of these sports activewear hoodies, you may visit maestrado.com, or you can visit also Maestrado Fashions on Facebook, and feel free to browse all his products and order all his activewear selections. So today we're talking about pageant training camps. Is Canada ready for it? Hi everyone. So pageant training camps are actually known in a lot of pageant countries such as the Philippines and in Latin America, as well as in Asia. And there are 3 pageant training camps that are majored in the Philippines. They are Aces and Queens, Cagandang Flores, and a new pageant camp called The Camp. So what are pageant training camps? So, pageant training camps are actually a group of pageant or organizations that are involved with different people who are excellent or who are actually focused on different kinds of major categories to train girls and compete in national pageants. So, there's a specific designate that trains girls for their walking, which is called pasarela. And then there's a specific trainer that specializes in question and answer. Then there is a specific trainer who deals with public speaking. Then there's a specific person who is actually assigned to teach girls how to do proper makeup and proper styling, hairstyling, makeup. And there's another person that is designated to teach girls about styling, which is what are the proper outfits that the girls need to prepare for in each day during pageant week or pageant month. Because in the Philippines, there's like 2 months of competition for, let's say, Binibini Pilipinas, which is Miss Philippines, as well as Miss Universe Philippines, and Miss Earth Philippines, and Miss World Philippines. So the girls that enter these pageants are actually coming from different camps that are trained prior to the 2 months of that competition. They train for at least good 6 to 1 year. And I can tell you, a lot of the girls, even from Canada, go to the Philippines and are being trained. There's some girls from the States and some girls who are in Asia who actually sends their girls and be trained by these pageant training camps. So let's talk about each of these pageant training camps and what are their strengths and their weakness. So let's talk about KF, or Cagandang Flores. Cagandang Flores has been very popular because of the girls that came from them. And these are the girls that actually were the recent winners of Miss Universe or Miss Philippines. But now that Miss Universe Philippines is a separate organization from the Binibining Pilipinas organization, it's going to be a different story this year. But the girls that actually came from Cagandang Flores are Gazini Ganados, the recent Miss Universe Philippines that was crowned in the Binibining Pilipinas. Rachel Peters. Then you have Risham Said, who was Miss Philippines Supernational from last year. She was crowned last year. Then also you have other girls as well that like Mary Jane Lastimosa. These girls are from KF or Cagandang Flores. The wonderful thing about Cagandang Flores is that Cagandang Flores puts focus on the girls more on the styling aspect of the actual girl. So they're more traditional, more of like the Venezuelan style, kind of like 80s, 90s mixed to make it more modern. So you would see them, their hair is more volume, a lot of waves and curls, and then the makeup is very subtle, not too extreme, but can be noticeable. Their pasarela is very traditional, more on the Latin side, but KF girls are they don't have that diva attitude, so they're very approachable. When you look at them, they have the sweetness about them that's not very intimidating. So that's what KF girls are. In regards to question and answer and public speaking, I find that KF girls, it depends on their actual personality. Because I could give an example. Risham is a very well-spoken girl, not because she just came from Canada, but her personality is very bold in regards to I'm there. And I've seen how she is, because she was trained before by Kim Belen when she was in the Miss Philippines Canada days, and she was a former Miss Philippines Canada. So I could see that her strength was more also on question and answer. Now, public speaking, she's a great public speaker, and because of the fact that Miss Philippines Canada title holders do a lot of charitable work, and they have to go to the Philippines and do a lot of events with I forgot the name of the organization, but it's Gawad Kalinga, GK, which is basically building homes for less fortunate people in the Philippines. And they travel and they meet with different diplomats and speak about the importance of being involved, especially mayors from different towns, and also people here in Canada who basically donates for their cause. So in regards to Gazini is very beautiful, traditional. She looked very Latina. The problem was public speaking. And please, Filipino pageant fans, don't attack me. I'm just basically giving out the strengths and the weaknesses of each girls. So Gazini looks good. She has good catwalk skills, and when she's not in a pressure in the like with interview or stage speaking, I find her very good because she's so natural. Okay, so these are KF girls. Now let's talk about Aces and Queens. Aces and Queens actually came from KF. They're all together before. They're all one big group. But it's separated, and the KF Queens was founded by Jonas Gaffwood, who is one of the directors of Miss Universe Philippines. But there was a lot of success stories from Aces and Queens, and their number one product is Pia Words Back. And Pia was very seasoned from her catwalk, from her skills in doing makeup, hair preparation, and I could say like the girls from Aces and Queens are really trained to win a pageant. And I know that because I've spent a lot of time with the girls from the Philippines who are Miss Philippines Globe or Binibining Pilipinas Globe that are sent to compete at the Miss Globe. And I end up being the one in charge of them when they're there to give support. So I know for a fact that the last girl, Laren May Bautista, was from Aces and Queens. And you could see when she competed at the Miss Globe, everything was up to par. Sorry about that, my throat. Everything was up to par. I mean, from her outfits, daily outfits, she was bringing it, like, you know, very creative. The concept of bringing the Filipino culture and wearing those outfits and making it modern. She's also well prepared when it comes to her national costume, and it was splendid. Whoever designed it, it's because of Aces and Queens. Another thing is the gowns that she was wearing from prelims to the finals. It's very competitive. What I could say that they go and match the outfits to the personality of the girl. And Laren came there to bring it on at the Miss Globe. So, and for her finishing second runner-up, I could basically say that she did so well. I think that her placement could have been higher, but we're very happy that she became second runner-up from the Miss Globe. Another thing I would like to also talk about was Laren May's pasarela. So Aces and Queens girls have a different style of runway walk or pasarela. They're more daring. They're more what you call the diva walks. They're still sophisticated, but they're there to push and let people know, hey, I'm Philippines. So that's the product of Aces and Queens. And it showed with Pia when she went to Miss Universe and won the crown. So, and another product of Aces and Queens is Michelle Gumabao, who was also a former Miss Philippines Globe. And you could tell Michelle Gumabao's strength was public speaking. She can take the mic and she can answer it like she knows what she's talking about. Not because the fact that she is a public personality, I mean a famous volleyball player. She's also a celebrity host. She MCs a lot of events and she does a lot of endorsements and commercials in the Philippines. But from her way of speaking as a pageant queen, all because of Aces and Queens. So that's Aces and Queens for you. And as I mentioned to you, a lot of their girls are very well known because they have placed so good in international pageants, such as Miss Universe, Miss Globe, the Miss Globe, and as well as Miss Supranational, and other major international pageants. So there's a new pageant camp in the Philippines called The Camp. And I'm not fully aware about this, but it just came out because it's being shown in live social media. The girls who were competing or were selected from the Miss Universe Philippines 2020 casting or screening, some of them actually came from the camp. And I could say that a lot of the girls that are actually coming from this has a lot of potential. They're not as defined as aces and queens and kagandang floors because of the fact that they're just starting. But I know that a lot of the girls who wants a breath of fresh air of knowledge in training of pasarela, makeup work, hair, and everything that needs to that a girl needs to have in order to be successful in competing in national pageants, they actually have the foundation. It's just that they don't have a lot of hypeness because some of the girls that are coming there are just starting now to compete in national pageants and have not made a record yet. So we're about to see that once the Miss Universe Philippines and the Binibini Pilipinas just finish. Hi everyone. So does it cost money to be in a pageant camp? Let me tell you that most of the pageant trainers that are from Aces and Queens and from Kagandang Floors, most of them are actually doing it in a voluntary basis. However, there is operating costs because they need to pay for the rental of the space in which they do their catwalk training, to do their makeup, and it also takes time. And I believe since last year, they started charging girls who wants to be part of their training camp, especially from the girls that are actually coming from different countries. So it's not for free because there is an operating cost. Now, is it worth being in a pageant camp? Especially for countries like the Philippines and Latin American countries and even Asian countries such as Thailand and Indonesia, where they live pageant life. It's so important to be part of a training camp because it gives the girls more confidence boost to succeed, especially if they want to win national pageants. And if any of their girls wins the national crowns, these girls are continually trained by their pageant camps and get them more ready for international pageants. And that's why Philippines have been placing a lot. Thailand has been placing a lot. Indonesia has been placing a lot in international pageants because they have the proper structure. And with Latin countries such as Miss Venezuela, I do believe that the girls, when they actually win their regional titles, they have to live in a compound for a good 6 months, and they are provided training. And if they need to have surgical enhancements done in their bodies or in their face, then that will be the process for them to do. And that takes a while because the body has to heal and the face has to heal. But you could tell that the girls from Miss Venezuela and whoever wins when they compete internationally, they're front runners because the girls spend money and time to invest in themselves. So that's very important. Sorry about that. My throat has been really in a challenge for the past few days because of the weather change here in Canada, especially here in Toronto, when a few days it will be cold and then a few days it will be warm. So that's what it is about pageant training camps. Now, if a girl, such in Canada, and they want to go to the Philippines or even Colombia to train, do body enhancement, it will cost money. And be prepared to make that investment, because nothing is for free, especially if you're gonna have surgical enhancement done in your face and in your body to make yourself more competitive and be happy with your own body to compete. Then you have to be willing to spend the money and make it as an investment. So, is Canada ready for pageant training camps? Now, this is really a very touchy subject, because running a Canadian pageant since 2005, when I took over MCGP, a lot of people expect that everything would be for free, which is not, because of the fact that, number one, no companies or big companies would give monetary support to any pageant organization, or not even big corporations would give financial support for pageant organizations, because Canada's not ready for that. So they don't see pageants like sports. People still have the mentality that pageants is all about being beautiful, with waving with a beautiful crown and saying to people, hi, I'm beautiful and I like world peace, which is not, because a lot of the Canadian title holders actually do a lot of charitable work. And I mean, in the Philippines, if you are a title holder, you are requested to attend very high profile events. But in Canada, the pageant organization or the queens themselves have to arrange public appearances. And with that also saying, they have to provide their own gas, their own outfits, and even their own food and even accommodations. But with our pageant, if people have requested for our girls to be there and it's not charitable related, then we do charge money, which basically is just about right, because of the fact that they're using our title holders for publicity purposes. So with that saying itself, is Canada ready for pageant training camps? I wish that we have pageant training camps, because it would be easier for us pageant directors to train the girls when they compete internationally, because they already know what to expect. But at the same time, pageant girls in Canada are not willing to spend extra amount of money for training camps, let be alone to even hire pageant coaches. And that's why there's some pageants like ours that we provide training for our girls during the national pageant, which we call regional assessment. And it's like 3 days where we work on their on the skills of walking, question and answers, as well as public speaking and confidence level, hair and makeup, and other things that are very important for girls to know in order to be able to compete for the national level. And we believe in the whole same amount of training, equality for everybody who's entering the pageant. But I'm not saying it's wrong to get pageant coaches. because that will make also our job easier. But you want to make sure when you pick a pageant coach that, number one, that pageant coach have proven something when they were actually a pageant title holder, which means that they've won their international pageant or they've placed well when they were competing. That's the big factor in choosing a pageant coach. Don't just pick a pageant coach because of the fact that, oh, they're a professional model, because models are completely different than pageant title holders. And that's another topic that I will talk to you about. But I consider that modeling mainly focuses on a girl that can wear the outfits and be able to sell them, you know. So, but when you're a pageant title holder, you are representing. You're not just representing yourself, you're representing your town, your country, and the organization. So with that being said, a lot of pageant girls or a lot of pageant queens, they do modeling, and they get to be part of different fashion shows. I know for ours, our title holders, we even go and participate in the New York Couture Fashion Week, and also fashion shows here in Canada, as well as the Toronto Couture Fashion Week that we got and acquired the franchise for. And I think that people in Canada needs to distinguish that when you're a pageant queen, you're not just being a model, but you are being a role model. And when you're a model, that you have to also be competitive to the fact that every year there's fresh faces that are coming in, and people want fresh faces, especially designers. So, and a lot of models are getting aged or getting older, so it becomes less competitive for them unless they're able to maintain themselves to be able to be competitive, but that can cost more money. So, hoping that one day Canada becomes a real pageant country and that we're ready to get pageant camps here. But I can tell you that in our end at Miss Canada Globe, we have great pageant coaches. I can tell you, number one is Meji Mezalus, who is a product of MCGP, and she specializes on catwalk because she's a professional model and she has won pageants. She was Miss Black Beauty International, and she made top 10 at Miss Freedom of the World. So she specializes on that, and she's also a designer, so she knows how to style girls, how to prepare what outfits that are suited for the girl who's competing. Another trainer that we have is Kim Belen, who is the current designer for Maestrato Fashions. But Kim started with us as a choreographer, and back in the days when Kim was living in Europe, he was doing the choreography and training of the girls in Germany who are competing for Miss Philippines Germany and other parts of Europe that have Filipino community pageants. And when he came to Canada, he basically worked for other pageants, Filipino pageants. Then we met, and he started working for Miss Canada Globe Productions as a choreographer. But he also has good stage skills and also a stylist. He does well on makeup, he does well on hair, so sometimes he accompanies our girls to be their stylist and makeup artist in the international pageant. And not only that, he's a designer, so he knows what outfits also are suited for the girls when they're competing in pageants. So that's Kim Belen. And We have Martin Scott Pascal, who is also a choreographer. He used to work for MCGP, but has been focused on his dance troupe, which is Dance Carib. And he's also a good talent trainer. So if we have dancers, we basically ask him for help to choreograph dance choreographies for the talent of our girls when they compete internationally. So we have great pageant coaches. And if you would like to be featured, any pageant coaches out there that would like to be featured in the Canadian Pageant Network, please send me a private message at myspilar@misscanada.tv, and I'll be happy to call you and get to know you better and see if we can have you come in and do an interview with you, so that some girls can actually see you and hire you to become their pageant coaches or pageant trainers. So again, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe with this YouTube channel that we have, so that you can get updates on new postings and new vlogs that we do in our YouTube channel. Again, my name is Maya Santana Pilar. Thank you so much for joining us, and peace, everyone.